Let's
Yeah,
get
man.
into our picks against the spread. Week 5 picks against the spread. Duke at Virginia is what we're going to start out. Looks like Virginia Tech, or Duke at Virginia Tech, excuse me. Virginia Tech -3 right now. What you got?
Right now, I I keep betting on, nobody teams to cover against the spread against Virginia Tech. So when Duke's coming to town, I'm going to bet on them as well. It seems to be going pretty well for me, so I'm going to give it another shot. My how the mighty have fallen. Virginia Tech used to be one of the premier programs in the country, and now they are on the struggle bus to the extreme. So I'm taking Duke plus the 3.
I like that. I like that. I was just resetting my timer. I forgot about my timer, Al, but I like that. I'm going with Duke as well. I was kind of back and forth with this, but give me Duke with the points. Virginia Tech, I rewatched the Virginia Tech versus Furman game. Furman was up by 11 at halftime, and they were actually schooling them pretty well in that first half. Now, Virginia Tech obviously came back and won the game, but Virginia Tech, man, it just turns the ball over. I believe they're like ranked last in turnovers. They're going to turn the ball over. I think on average, they've been turning the ball over like 4 or 5 times a game. That is just horrible.
Yeah.
And they turned the ball over a bunch against Furman as well. Duke, on the other hand, not only did they just come off a big win against Middle Tennessee, who's got a good offense, and I thought was going to be a high scoring game, but Duke beat them, then turned around. Now they got a bye week. So I believe that Duke's going to, or they had a bye week last week. They didn't play. So I believe that Duke's going to come out fresh and be ready to win. And give me Duke as well. We got a couple of off games. I'm guessing you're going to go with the favorite in the off games, Holy Cross at Syracuse. Obviously, I picked Syracuse, and Delaware at Pittsburgh. I picked Pittsburgh as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Syracuse covered last week, kind of getting off their seat a little bit, and covered the spread against Western Michigan. Actually, beat them by a whole lot. That kind of separated us. I know you picked Western Michigan there, so I was very proud of my Syracuse Orange there to kind of give me another extra game against you. I'm going to give them the nod in that game. Pittsburgh as well. Obviously I wouldn't have chosen Delaware anyways, but not after Pitt knocked off Central Florida. It kind of really has me interested to see what Pittsburgh does the rest of the year.
Now, you just had to bring up me picking Western Michigan, all
I
right?
did.
Al, I wish you had a shorter memory like I do. I don't remember all my mistakes, but I'm glad that you are here to help me remember all of my mistakes,
Well, I'm
okay?
here, brother.
So I did pick Western Michigan, but let me tell you something, Al. With 7 minutes to go, they were covering the spread. Now, in that 7 minutes, I think they got scored on like 3 times.
Yeah.
But that game had me sweating. It was really close with 7 minutes to go. And I thought I was going to pull it out and be able to text you, say, ha ha. Also, Louisville was holding it. Louisville was holding it, and they lost it on me as well.
They did.
My underdog picks, they were a perfect pick if the game ended with 8 minutes left in the fourth. But they were a terrible pick if it actually played the entire game. Come to find out, Al, all the teams have to play an entire game.
I know, it's crazy how that works, isn't it?
So here is one. I need to skip this one because this is a ranked versus ranked. Even though I have it as an ACC game, I'm going to skip it towards the end. We do ranked versus ranked at the end. But Georgia Tech at Temple. This is interesting because, Jeff Collins used to coach at Temple. Now he's got to go to Temple coaching at Georgia Tech. What you got? Oh, wait a minute. Let me give you the spread. Temple -9. These spreads are as of Tuesday, by the way.
Yeah, I'm taking Temple minus the 9. I just absolutely have no faith in Georgia Tech. The new Georgia Tech that we're seeing is not a pretty one. Now, I understand it's his first year, new system, that kind of thing. Temple's already beaten, a Maryland team who was kind of hyped up at one point at home, so I'll give me the Owls.
Okay, yeah, I'm taking Temple as well. Georgia Tech's just not really good this year. They're doing a lot of restructuring on their offense. They really don't have an identity right now. I think Jeff Collins is definitely going down in his return to Philadelphia, so I'm going with Temple as well, even minus the 9. I think I cheated this week and looked at some of the computer picks, and the computers were picking Temple, so I'm picking Temple. Wake Forest at Boston College. This one's interesting because Boston College got beat up pretty bad against Kansas at home. Wake Forest has a really good offense with Jamie Newman under the helm there. Wake -7. Who you got on that one?
For no particular reason, I'm picking Boston College plus the 7. Okay, I don't think Boston College is a very good football team. Wake seems to have a pretty strong offense after, Boston College embarrassed themselves and the conference, getting blown out by Kansas at home. They they rebounded with a road win over the Rutgers. So, I'm taking BC in this one for no particular reason at all. Boston College plus 7.
Wow. All right. Well, considering your win percentage, I guess I should go with you on this, but I'm not. I'm going to go with Wake Forest. I think they have a better quarterback. Like I said, the last home game, Boston College, got destroyed against a terrible Kansas team, in my opinion. I think Wake Forest is, one of the better teams in the ACC. It's kind of scary to say that, but they made up for it. BC did just recently beat Rutgers, but it wasn't anything to call home about. So I'm going with Wake Forest there. Next game, this is one we kind of hinted on earlier. This is the last of the non-ranked ACC games that we have up here. Not many ACC games right now. I guess they're playing each other or they're taking a week off. Yep. But NC State at Florida State. I mentioned to you that Florida State fans are excited about Alex Hornibrook. Florida State -6. What you got?
I'm taking the Noles -6. I took them last week, and they didn't disappoint me. Obviously, like you said, they covered against Louisville. They beat a bad Louisville team, but it is what it is. Any baby steps that they can take right now, like we mentioned earlier, is a positive sign. So, I'm going to take them. I don't believe in the NC State team either, so give me the Noles to cover again this week.
All right. Well, I told you that Florida State was, just hot garbage. They were a trash team. They switch out their quarterback and somehow find success. He passes for over 250 yards, has 75% completion rate. He looked really well. I mean, really good. I watched his replay. I watched the game live because, that was a game that I was really hoping to win on. Cam Akers he's a consistent running back. He gets in a lot of his yards. But the thing about Florida State is they score a lot in the first and second quarter and then die off after halftime. But with Alex Hornibrook, they seem to be doing better and were able to win the game and able to come up with some key stops towards the end as well. So I'm going to get off of my Florida State is trash train, and I'm actually going to go with them this time. They burned me, or I picked Louisville last time, and Louisville burned me. So I'm going to pick Florida State this time. I feel like I kind of see where the Florida State camp is coming from. They're excited. They've got a breath of fresh air in this quarterback. I don't understand why he wasn't playing before this. So I'm going to go with Florida State, even though it pains me to say that. And that's the end of our ACC picks that aren't ranked. And we're going to talk about our ranked versus ranked. Really, man, we were spoiled last week with ranked versus ranked. This week, less than exciting ranked versus ranked. Let us know your picks on all of these teams as we go through them as well. We'd love to give you a shout out when we get through this list here. But for ACC, Al, big game is for number 18, Virginia, at number 10, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is -12.5. What you got there? What are your thoughts?
Virginia has survived a couple of close games here recently, one with FSU where they probably even should have lost that game at home, and one to Old Dominion, who kept it close for a while, but they seem to find a way. I think there's some talent there. I like their quarterback, Bryce Perkins. But Notre Dame, I think, is going to suffer the hangover effect from the Georgia game and could be in for a close matchup with Virginia. So I'm going to take Virginia plus the 12.5.
Ooh, okay. Well, I've been back and forth on this one too. This is like the Florida State game for me. I cheated and looked at some of the computer picks, see what they had. Tried to look at some of the expert picks, but they're all garbage, so I don't trust them. I trust myself, and I trust stealing your pick over, doing an expert. That's why I have you go first, Al, so that I can change my opinion or my pick after you tell me, because you're 70% right now. But I actually don't. On paper, I don't have Virginia. I really don't. They live and die by what Bryce Perkins can do.
Yep.
Can they contain Bryce Perkins? That's the question. I think that, I want to change my mind now. I believe that Notre Dame is going to return home and get a good win. Can they win by 12.5? That's the question. Let me know in the comments what you think. Give me some help here. What do you think? Can Notre Dame beat Virginia by 12.5, ranked versus ranked in the ACC? We got people saying pick Virginia. Anybody else out there? Al, you got anybody on Facebook giving you a pick?
Yeah, David and Al do a real good job of getting us their picks, pick by pick, but they're different on this. David says UVA, Al says Notre Dame. So I mean, unfortunately you're 50-50 here.
I can't call a friend at all on that one. Thank you. So I got 2 for UVA, 1 for Notre Dame. I'm going to go with Virginia. Give me Virginia plus the 12.5. I mean, I think that it's going to be a close game. I think that Notre Dame is going to win. I really do. I'm not trusting that they can win by 13 plus. So give me Virginia on that. We'll go with that. I'll give you a fan pick, call a friend, phone a friend, just like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I'll do that for you. You know, hey, it's my show. I can do whatever I want, Al. I mean, really, it's our show, but, you know, whatever. All right. So
that's your world. I'm just living it.
I am the producer, Al. No, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I appreciate this love and support, everybody, and giving my pick. If I win, if it's successful, then it's all because of me. If it's not successful, then it's all y'all's fault. So that's how things go. No, I'm just kidding. But ranked versus ranked, non-ACC team. This is number 21, University of Southern California, at number 17, Washington. Jacob Eason, the guy we've seen at Georgia. What you think?
Well, the real USC is kind of like Michigan for me, okay? They're preseason hype with nothing to back it up. They've been that way for quite a while now, ever since, Leinart and Bush left. They've just kind of never really gotten back to what everybody thought they were going to be. That's a proud program, a lot of history there, but they've just been pretty much garbage for quite a while now. So I'm going to lay the points and take the Huskies here.
All right, I like that. I'm going with Washington as well. I believe it's Washington minus 10. I don't think I said that earlier, but Washington minus 10. Jacob Eason is really killing it right now. 87 for 119, 1,063 yards, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, playing at home. USC is coming off a great win. Man, I did not pick USC. I felt like USC was going to beat Utah, number 10 Utah. They got really high up there in the Pac-12, but they ended up beating them. It was a home game, and USC has really just owned Utah. So I don't know what I was thinking. That's what I was telling you earlier. I need to start looking at prior games and history of games at a certain stadium, because Utah, if you watch that, Utah hasn't won in Southern Cal in a while. And so I should have picked Southern Cal that game. It beat me up. Did you pick Southern Cal?
No, I didn't. I picked Utah.
Was that like your one game you didn't win or you didn't get right last week?
It was a pretty good week. I got to tell you, though, I mean, like you said, 70 against the spread is insanely good. So I feel like I'm due for an incredibly humbling week here against Vegas, because nobody beats Vegas like that for long. That's for sure.
Well, I'm trying to do you because this is a competition, okay? I'm trying to do you like they did the kicker, like they do kickers, where they say, oh, man, he hasn't missed one. He hasn't missed one in like 73 weeks, and then he goes and shanks one. So that's my thing against you. You haven't missed any picks, or you've been really great, but I'm just hoping to like talk you up so much that you shank one. Yep. And because I want to win the pool, right?